This is the Teatro alla Scala of Milan, Italy's operatic home. It was Maria Callas' operatic home as well. Here, for nearly 10 years during the 50s, she created musical history in a series of now legendary performances. This theater, this stage, still really seems to reverberate with her voice and the memory. I am Franco Zeffirelli, and together with Leonard Bernstein, Luchino Visconti, Carlo Maria Giulini, among others, I had the privilege to be part of that extraordinary period when Maria Callas reigned supreme here in La Scala. But even though this stage was her artistic home, she really belonged to the entire world. Many who never saw the inside of an opera house or even heard of La Scala knew of Callas. In our time, she was opera.
I believe that in the theater, one goes to see and feel something better than what he usually has in life. We have enough of miserable situations and of things to cope with in life. If we go to the theater, when the public goes out, when he's improved or breathes better and says, well, there's something really worth for, I think that is our main purpose. Now, how we go about that, I don't care, so long as we succeed in that. And music is the straight way to go to the heart and to the minds of people.
She was, in a certain sense, the Paganini of opera. She could create a tension on the stage. I'm often reminded of, when I think of Callas, of a
composer Giancarlo Menotti.
Question that was asked to Caruso. When somebody asked Caruso what people liked so much in his voice, he said, it's the fear in my voice. Well, she always gave a sense that perhaps she would not be able to finish an aria. The audience was sort of like watching a Callas fighting against Callas. It was sort of a bullfight in which she finally killed the monster, and she was acclaimed as the victorious heroine of the moment.
This is something that I am sure that Maria Callas felt, this kind of duel.
Conductor Carlo Maria Giulini.
Blood was there. And the success of Maria, tremendous success, but always had, on my feeling, something bitter, because was a kind of victory through a hard fight.
I think the secret of Maria Callas was her willpower.
Conductor Nicola Rescigno.
Maria Callas was born with all sorts of disadvantages. Her voice was not of the most beautiful quality. And still she made this instrument the most expressive, the most telling, the most true to the music that she interpreted of all of the singers of her day. Maria was not born a beautiful woman. Maria was fat, obese, ungraceful. When you realize that this woman, with the type of body she started out with in life, which was like that of a pachyderm, turned herself into possibly the most beautiful lady on the stage.
Once one heard and saw Maria Callas, one can't really distinguish it in a part. It was very hard to enjoy any other artist, however great, afterwards. Because
Sir Rudolph Bing
imbued every part she sang and acted with such incredible personality and life. One move of her hand was more than another artist could do in a whole act.
You look at the role, as we know how to read and write, we know how to read our music. We're supposed to.
In 1968, in a conversation with Lord Harwood, director of the English National Opera, Maria discussed her approach to a musical role.
This way I've learned from my teacher Hidalgo and also from Serafin, which are the major people in my life. You put the music together with the personaggio, and you try to make them agree. Frequently, they do agree. Then you take the music and you learn it as you were in the conservatoire. In other words, exactly as it's written, nothing more and nothing less, which is the phrase that I call straitjacketing. Having broken this down completely, then you can take wings. By taking wings, I mean from down to earth, 2 and 2 makes 4, because everything must be logical in opera. Opera is something that has been dead quite a while ago. So if we really don't try our very best to give it much seriousness and much persuasiveness and dignity, you know, it's not taken in with pleasure.
Those of us who worked with her knew her as a supremely dedicated professional. A whole generation of singers who followed her were influenced by her repertory and the way she sang it.
It was a kind of discipline that I learned from her.
Soprano Renata Scotto.
She taught me how to be a singer with a very serious work, not because only I have a beautiful voice. It's nothing to have a voice. Voice is important because it's the first thing, but then you have to work and to understand each word, each phrase, and she was great for that because she cleaned up all the old tradition. She knew at that moment, and it was the years when singer went on stage, put out high notes, effect, and nothing else. So she started to say to the audience, opera is more than sing.
I remember my first Norma when I asked her about...
Soprano Montserrat Caballé.
Do you think I can do this? Because to me it seems tremendous difficult, and because John Sutherland always says, oh, it's a nice opera for your voice, you have to try once. So I asked Maria, and I was in London at the time, and she says, when you come to Paris, you come to see me. And I was to Paris, and I was to his flat, and then we have done 2 things of Norma, which at the moment I was thinking, why she wants only I do this? Because I was saying other things was more difficult. Today, after 100 Normas I have sung, I know that Maria was right. These were the only 2 points in Norma. When a soprano can do it, she can sing Norma. She really was very special. She was for the world of the opera, the unique real singer of our era, which I think really we have to say thank you, Maria, to come to us, to give us the opportunity to know what is the real music life, the real music life in a stage, and thank you to come to us and to remain with us.